Let's redraw another piece from one of my old sketchbooks. This time it's going to be this piece, which is based off of another story I had when I was about 12. So the original premise for this story was a little hard to explain because I don't really recall a lot of it, but I do have a journal that has most of it written down, and I recently reread it to try and figure out what it was about, and I'm still not really sure. From rereading the journal, it seemed like it was going in a direction of government agencies collecting up magical creatures for some unknown reason, but then there's a weird twist after they break these magical creatures out, where it's actually about werewolves trying to kidnap the main fairy character. I really have no idea where I was going with it or why that was happening. If you're taking a look at what I'm drawing now, obviously it's completely different. That's because a couple of years ago, I took all these characters that I had from that story and I completely overhauled it into a new story. It still involves werewolves, fairies, and that witch character back there. However, everything else is completely different. That's mostly because at the time I didn't reread that journal, so I had no idea what the actual story was. All I could really recall is that it involved werewolves and those fairy girls. The new story leans a lot more into the werewolf aspect of what I had going originally. Basically, the werewolf curse is something that isn't genetically passed on in this universe, and you have to be turned by like a scratch or a bite. Our main male character doesn't want to be a werewolf like the rest of his family, which would have ostracized him and gotten him exiled, so his family just kind of turned him without his permission. So now he's running away from his family, and on the way he meets these two fairies, and they tell him where to find a witch that can help him break his curse. And while he's on this journey, his sister and part of the pack is actually trailing him and trying to get him to come back home and accept his fate. The subplot of the story is that one of the fairy girls is actually in love with him and has been for a while, and she's going to the witch to try and get the witch to turn her human so that she can be with him. And so we have an improvement in both art and the story. I don't typically do a lot of landscape artwork, so the composition for this one was kind of hard for me, and I'm still not super happy with it, but it looks better than the original, and that's the goal. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to support me by reading Elements of the Round out now on Webtoon Canvas.